Good afternoon, everybody. I am super excited to be here with the lovely Jacia Kornwise. And see if my computer will cooperate with me. Sorry, it's catching up. It's propagating. There you go. Okay. Computers do funny things sometimes. Okay, so Jacia is a master embodied soul coach, transformational experience facilitator, inspirational, and TEDx speaker. She is the author of The Love Ball Game, Embracing Yourself and Embodying Your Soul, with an impressive 31 career dedicated to helping individuals, couples, and groups transform their stuck points into resilience and embodied resourcefulness. She has led retreats, workshops, corporate and private events, and festivals, sharing her tools to embody healing. As a multiple trauma survivor and grief survivor, she shares herself from the heart, leading the way. Jacia received her BA in English Literature from the University of Michigan and is and a teaching certification. She received her master's in integral counseling psychology from the California Institute of Integral Studies and her master's shadow coaching degree from the late Debbie Ford. She is a trained and certified 5 rhythms dance teacher by Gabrielle Roth and the Moving Center. She studied and trained in various breathwork, somatic, and mindfulness-based teachings. She runs the Satori Healing Center in Chico, California, and is a mom to her teenage son and puppy. I want to know what kind of puppy. And she's going to be speaking on Learn to L.E.A.D or lead with embodied intuition. So thank you so much for being here. Looking forward to hearing all about it. And what kind of puppy do you have?
He's a Coton de Tulier, and most people say, "What is that?" It was bred in Madagascar, and apparently they were bred to help women cross the ocean on journeys. Would you believe? On boats. So he likes.
Interesting. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for being here with us at the Leadership Summit 2024, and we're excited to hear all about it. So take it away.
Thank you so much for having me, Randy. I'm super appreciative. Okay, well, here we go. I am delighted to be here. And a lot of times when we think about leadership, we don't necessarily thinking about embodiment or embodied intuition. Yet when we embody our intuition, we can lead in a whole new way. So I'm going to share a few personal stories and some tips and even some exploration. So during this time period, expect to maybe need to grab a journal or take a few moments so that you can actually really feel what I'm talking about and not just listen to it. So I'm going to start just by asking you a question, which is, do you ever listen to your intuition? I was looking at social media, I was scrolling away on my Facebook feed when I heard someone sharing, if you have a story that the world needs to hear, the TEDx stage is an amazing place to do it. All right, at this moment, my entire body lit up with chills and shakes. I had an absolute full body, undeniable response of, yes. And I kind of hear a, you are doing this, apply, and this will happen. You'll be on that stage in 6 months. Okay, I could not deny the energy pouring through me. My first thought was kind of like, are you kidding? I had a full-fledged panic attack in public speaking class in school. You want me to do what? Now, if I had listened to my fear or to the odds that only 1 in 100,000 per year get onto a TEDx stage, I would not have had the joy of watching this intuition come true. In exactly 6 months, I was on a TEDx stage, only because I have honed the skills to be in my body, and not only in my body, but to listen to my intuition. I know and I trusted what I had to do. I wish I had known how to do that when I was 27 years old. I'm standing in my upstairs apartment. I'm in a lover's quarrel. I'm saying, it's not true. I'm telling my boyfriend, Michael, because he is demanding that I drive him home because he's convinced that I'm having an affair of some sort with a neighbor across the street. Who are you talking about? I say to him. I didn't even know there was a man that lived across the street. Drive me home now, or I'll never speak to you again, he says. Well, I start feeling nausea. It's creeping up in my body, and I start feeling confused. What is happening here? Is he out of his mind? What is he talking about? I continue to start feeling dizzy and shaky, and out of nowhere, I hear a voice, and it says, do not leave your apartment. You are in danger. I am so confused. So I pretend I don't listen to it. I don't hear it, just drop it. And I hear the voice again, a few minutes later. But this time it says, do not leave your apartment. You are going to be raped and robbed. What? I look around. I'm trying to understand, where is this voice coming from? Do you hear that? I asked Michael. And he's like, hear what? He looks at me like I'm crazy. My body having uncontrollable shakes and shivers now. Perhaps I am the crazy one. I'm hearing voices. Am I losing my mind? My body, though, is still shaky, spinning, chills up and down my spine. It is trying to tell me something. Yeah, I heard this voice, but I wanted to work around it somehow. I chose not to trust my body sensations, and I went with what I wanted because I wanted Michael, my boyfriend. I voted for trying to save my relationship rather than possibly saving myself by listening to this guidance that I'd received, because I didn't believe it. I didn't trust it. So I drove him to his house. We get out onto the driveway. Our eyes are locked. We are still upset. We're in a lover's quarrel. We are stuck there. And suddenly, we both feel metal pulled against the sides of our heads. I was taken hostage, brutally raped at gunpoint by multiple assailants, multiple hours robbed, almost lost my life that night. So many people lose their lives or their livelihoods by not listening to that one tiny voice. After that night, I knew I needed to never again not listen to my inner voice, my body sensation, my hunches, my intuition. I needed to begin understanding why I didn't fully trust myself. Now, it's almost embarrassing if I told you exactly how many times this kind of thing still happened to me, even after this life-threatening experience, before I started understanding not only how to listen to my intuition, but how to trust it, how to listen to my body signals, trust them, and follow them. Now, I know I am not the only one who didn't grow up learning to listen to myself or trust myself. How many times can you remember saying to yourself or a friend, if only I had just listened to my instincts, I should have listened. I had a hunch. I knew better. I heard a voice. I had a gut feeling, but I just didn't want to believe it. And then remember how you suffered the consequences? Let me tell you, you are not the only one. I've heard hundreds of people in my coaching practice over the years asking why they didn't trust their body hunches or listen to their inner voices. We must learn to listen to our body signals and our intuition as if our life depended on it, because it does. That's why I've dedicated the past 31 years working as a master embodied soul coach and transformational experience facilitator to help people get back into their bodies, reclaim their inner listening, and learn to lead their way towards living their deepest dreams. Our intuition is here to guide us in that vital turning point, which turns us into ourselves and into our lives. Its function is to rotate us enough towards ourselves that we can follow our most profound dreams and avoid our nightmares. I recently wrote the book, The Love Ball Game, embracing yourself and embodying your soul, explaining this system, which I call LEAD. And I've been developing online embodied courses and coaching programs to help people learn to listen and lead. So these are the 4 steps to true leadership, which is your way back to your embodied intuition and your self-love. LEAD, the L in LEAD is for listening, which is the first step. In 2019, YouGov surveyed over 4,000 people to see how many liked listening to their own voice recorded. Okay, only guess 23% said they were very comfortable hearing their voice. Now imagine, if we don't even like the sound of listening to our voice, how willing are we going to be to listen to ourselves? Sadly, it is pervasive to listen to what someone outside of us tells us to do rather than to trust our inner information. We live in a culture that teaches us to look outside for answers, for wisdom. We're rarely taught in schools to sit still, look within, feel our body, breathe into it. Like it or not, we are taught that what we need to soothe us or protect us or make us successful is outside of ourselves. We must be trained actually to look within and to listen to our intuition. And sometimes the people around us, whether that's our bosses, our families, our parents, our lovers, they don't want us to know what we do know. So we learn to do what is asked of us. Our wounds from childhood can create patterns, teaching us to abandon ourselves to the needs of others. So many great leaders suffer under their accolades because they're not listening to one tiny voice. Now, when we are willing to listen to ourselves, to step out of our everyday lives, to slow down, and to listen to that tiny voice inside, we can take care of ourselves and create what we truly desire. So, right now, I'm going to ask you, right here in the seminar, I want you to just go ahead, find a journal or a piece of paper, or even open up a sidebar on your computer where you can go write, freeform. And I'm going to take a moment and let you do that. And while you go looking for it, I'm going to put on a quiet piece of music. I'm going to give you some minutes to write. So I'm going to take a moment, let you pause, grab something. All right. So I'm going to put on a piece of music and I want you to write down one message, one intuition, one inner voice that keeps coming up that you need to dialogue with. It might not be some big deal. It might just be, you're getting stomach aches from eating that. Why aren't you stopping? Or you need to wake up an hour earlier and meditate. Or whatever it is. Or maybe it's something really large, like I'm struggling with what I have to do at work and why am I blocked here? I want you to take whatever the voice is, whatever the warning, whatever the hunch is that you keep hearing, and I want you to write about it right now. I'm going to let you write for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to come back together. In this moment could change your life. keep writing for a second, but as you're writing, I want to invite you just to ask yourself as you write, to write down what happens if I continue to not listen to this voice. Just take a moment to answer that question. What are the costs? And one more question to think about is, what are the infinite, wonderful possibilities that happen if I do? And take a moment to fill that great thought in. Just taking that time to do step one, which is L for listen in the word lead, is the first step. So you can put your writing down, come on back, your attention here, and we're going to go into the next letter in lead. It's the E, right? The E is for embody. So to embody is the second step, which is the one that is most commonly missed or misunderstood. Okay, without being in our bodies, which means breathing, moving with them, feeling what's in them, breathing through that, releasing it. The pattern of disconnecting from ourselves will repeat. Being truly embodied, it doesn't necessarily happen from doing yoga, from exercise, from getting good massages, from chiropractic, healthy diets on their own. What I recommend from experience is that conscious movement and breath practices connect us to what is left buried within us. So take a breath with me for a second. I really want you to feel this. And the more we are out of our heads and in our bodies, we can receive. So a nice slow breath. And release. It has been proven that the body holds the trauma, not only of our broken bones, but our broken hearts and our minds. Now, freeform movement practice, dancing like no one's watching, and breath work are some of the most effective tools to feel and get present in your body with intention. In fact, in 2021, Dr. Bessel van der Kolk wrote in The Body Keeps the Score, some of you might know that book, it's phenomenal. If you don't, check it out, that conscious movement and dance practices are among the most effective tools to heal trauma. So we can then release the anger, the fear, the grief that's stored in our bodies, and it opens new neural pathways to joy, to safety, and to freedom. Most of us have never associated movement and breath, which are basic things that we do daily, as essential healing tools. Once we reclaim that space within us from the old trauma, we can then begin to live in our present body rather than the past, or what we trauma-aware practitioners call the pain body. So I would like you right now to join me. You can either move along, because I'm going to put on one of my power songs onto this little screen and just move your body, or push mute and pick a song that you want to move with right now. You can turn your screen off so we don't, actually, most of you won't be on this live seminar, so it doesn't matter. No one's going to be watching you. You can dance with it. And I want you to find the song, and I want you to surrender to your feelings. Give yourself permission in a safe space to explore what is moving from within you. Okay? So I think that if you are just going to move to one of your power songs, and I call it a power song because it always inspires you. It's one of those things, maybe it's something you loved when you were a kid. Maybe it's something right now that whenever you hear on the radio, you're like, that makes me want to dance, or that makes me want to pound pillows and scream. Whatever the vibe is that is going to give you empowerment, I want you to dance right now with that. So go ahead, and I'm going to put on a little song. And this is not about my dancing skills. This is not about being able to move or dance. It's about just releasing and breathing with it. So I'm going to put on a song for myself that used to empower me through hard moments. It first came when I was a teenager in a very embarrassing moment when I got abandoned on the dance floor. at a big party. And I realized the guy who had asked me to dance was making fun of me. I went into the bathroom, started crying, sobbing, all these tears. It was horrible. I came out and the DJ played I Will Survive. And ever since then, I got back on that dance floor and I boogied. And it's one of those reminders that we can pick ourselves up. So I'm going to put on a song, I'm going to move, and I'm going to invite you to do the same. Join me if you like.
We don't hear your song though, Jacia. Sorry.
What was that?
We don't hear the music.
You're not hearing the music?
No.
Okay, that is a bummer. Thank you for letting me know. So there's no music. So let's take these 5 minutes and just move, because even without a song, we can move. So you could put it on in your area. And I just want to invite you to get into your body. Thank you, Randy, for telling me that. To get into your body for a second and just move what is there. So maybe you want to check into what is going on in your belly. Is it full? Is it empty? Just breathing into your belly, shaking it, moving it. It's going to give you information to get right here and right now. So just breathing in our body, noticing, okay, what's happening in your hips? Are they tight? Are they loose? You can sway them around in circles. You can shake them out. Our hips carry a lot of emotion. Some of us have been shamed from moving them. Nobody's watching you. Your body is yours to explore. Maybe it's your arms that need attention. Maybe you need to shake things out. So inviting you to shake your arms, to feel like you're angry, you want to punch, you want to kick. No one is here. This is your energy to let go of. You want to shake out some frustration, like, oh, it didn't work. And invite in the perfection of every moment, giving new opportunities. Let your body teach you. Just for a second, just let it shake out. Take a moment and shake out whatever's there. Listen to your body. So if you are someone who can't get up and bounce, you can move your arms. If you can't move your arms, but you can lay down, you can kick your legs out. I want you to explore, what does it mean to just even kick your spine and stretch it. Our spine connects our core body, what's inside us, to the ground. And if we're not grounded, we're not connected to our inner information that comes in our spine, we can't move with it and take action in our daily lives. So being in our bodies and check into our bodies daily is going to give us information. So right now, notice if there's any body part that feels tight or sore. And just take a breath and invite in permission and acceptance, and listen to what it has to say to you. Our bodies have the key information that we need for our leadership, for our lives, for our listening. So although there were not music there, even putting on one song and going with it will make a huge difference. So I'm a little out of breath here, so I'm going to let you just take a moment more and see if you were even willing to get up. If you didn't get up and you're just watching me here, just notice, what is my resistance? No one's watching, except Randy. What is your resistance to really being present in your body? Take a moment and breathe with that. Maybe you're ashamed to be there. Maybe you don't want to feel what's inside there. That's what you're pushing away. So just giving yourself that time to listen. These 2 steps, listening, the L for listening and E for body, they're the foundational ones for genuinely getting unstuck with your inner world. Okay, but the following 2 steps will be the game changers that become obvious to your outer world. And the letter that comes after, L-E-A. And A is for action. So we might already see the steps that we need to take in our lives, the complex changes or choices we need to make, but we are so often frozen in trauma and wounded core beliefs that it leaves us unable to change. And we can only honestly become the actor or actress empowered in our story. We do these first two steps of listening and embodying. This will free up our self-trust internally, which allows us to break free from unhealthy patterns or situations in our lives, whether that's staying in a relationship, a job, a way of behaving around our friends and family, our actions with money, or our lack of actions towards our dreams and our true goals. The startling facts are that most of us have experienced minor or extensive trauma, or someone in our lineage has, which means we carry the intergenerational trauma, and that trauma disconnects us from knowing what we know, feeling what we feel, and even expressing what we need. We have internalized learned helplessness, and we've had to bury our inner knowing to survive, whatever the prevailing outer circumstance or situation seems to require of us for our physical, mental, or emotional survival. Without listening and embodying, we remain stuck in a fight or flight or freeze response. And no matter how hard we try to take action for change, we somehow find ourselves right back in that same cycle. Does that sound familiar to anyone? As you become more comfortable taking action, we can finally become the director of our lives. And the more we do this, the more we no longer want to act under someone else's script or dream. So I want to ask you, what is the action that you would need to take today or this week that keeps coming up that you're peering at? And I want you to, again, take note of it. Take a moment and ask yourself, what will change? Grab your journal and take a moment and write it down. What is that thing that keeps coming up? And if you notice that you still are not wanting to listen to it, if you're unwilling to move, why was that? What belief did you have circling? Ask yourself whether you are in freeze, fight, flight, or even fawn. We just circle around the issue. And then with that awareness, go back. Step one, listening, and step two, embodying, as those are the places you still need to commit to. All right, so we've got listen, embody, act. And okay, what is the next letter? D is for direct. Being the director of your life does not mean to just be adulting well. You might be saying, I'm doing okay in my life. I'm paying my bills. I like my life. I'm productive, perform well at work. I'm content in my relationships. What more do you want? Directing actually happens when you listen, embody, and take the actions based on your inner guidance on a daily basis. When we are the complete director of our lives, we wake up happy and inspired. We're willing to embrace change. We are our own best friends, become healthier and more peaceful. And your heart is smiling, knowing if you would die today, you would have no regrets. I'm going to say that again. Your heart is smiling, knowing if you would die today, you'd have no regrets. Something's popping up. Ask yourself to note it. It is possible to lead your life into your soul purpose, the one you know you came here for. When we daily direct our lives, we enjoy every step and we have fun. You kind of carry a calm knowing that you're not only on the right path, but you are your path. People are drawn to your authenticity. They can trust you. They feel you. And more importantly, you feel alive, healthy, and peaceful. So lead, listen, embody, act, and direct. As we follow these 4 simple steps daily, we become our own epic adventure, way beyond the roles we thought we could play, into our own soul's authority. Our own soul's authority. You are in charge. We are genuinely free. We're living and leading our lives from our joy. So I invite you to wake up every morning and ask yourself, how am I going to lead my one precious life today? So with that question, I invite you to take those actions daily. And if anyone wants to learn more about my work, I have an incredible 6-month online embodied soul coaching program called Lead Your Love Ball Game, which if you go to my website, will be on the enroll page or on the immediate pop-up, as well as many other 3-month courses, individual and group stuff, as well as some movement and breath classes. Love to empower you to break through the stuff that you are stuck on, whether that's listening, embodying, acting, or directing. Let's get this leadership embodied, intuitive, and moving. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Love it. Thank you so much. That was a fantastic presentation. And I so agree with you on listening to your intuition and listening to your body, listening to what your self is telling you. And, sorry you had to go through some horrible traumas. But I know all our life experiences leave us with something, right? And it's our choice whether
100%.
we take that in a positive way or a negative way, and you took it into a positive way to help other people. And, so it's beautiful that you did that, and thank you for that. And, I know you're making a huge difference with people and teaching them how to listen, how to trust themselves. And I think a lot more people need to be able to do that. We really need to be able to listen to ourselves, and something I've done most of my life. So I definitely trust my instincts and go by that. So thank you so much.
Not everybody has that. It's an amazing gift to know how to do that. In fact, it reminded me to say that the book I just wrote will take you through so many powerful stories as well as action steps, and have a lot of guidance. So the Love Ball Game is really connected to the talk I had today.
Okay, perfect. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So please go on Jacia's website and get the book, connect with her, learn from her, and I look forward to chatting with you again in the near future. So thank you,
Randy. Thanks for letting me know the music wasn't playing. That was hilarious. Did it not play for the journaling too? That's
No.
very odd. We'll have to figure that one out. But either way, hopefully people took the time anyways, even if they didn't have the pretty background music, and got the points, because that's really what it's about. We don't need the music. That's just the icing on the cake. And the cake, baking that cake is what we need to do.
Exactly. They can add their own music in there.
Exactly.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much.